giving birth. So why should it be something to fear? So, and we have a rate of PTSD related to birth, about 45% in the United States, and that's of reported trauma. So I'm sure it's higher than that. So I'm very passionate about preventing it and helping people heal from it.
Wow. Is that PTSD is people who have already gone through it, right? Like post-traumatic.
Post-traumatic stress disorder is it doesn't matter whether it's related to abuse in childhood, or it could be some sort of an illness, or seeing an accident, seeing 9/11, being in 9/11, any kind of major, being raped, and incest, any kind of major, being in the war. I mean, PTSD was coined, after all the study of the vets coming back, and from the veteran war. They had a series of symptoms that, and now we study trauma from learning, from studying animals, because animals have the same kind of symptoms. We just don't allow ourselves to process it in this, like a a tiger, for example, is in the wild, and with an antelope or a deer, and the deer is usually in a calm parasympathetic nervous system, like calm alert state. That's how we function best. They see a tiger. I mean, it's a life-saving response. The sympathetic nervous system fires, and they either fight, flight, or freeze. And so they can't fight a tiger, so they're going to run for their life. If the tiger's too close, they're going to play dead. And that's what a lot of rape, people, like, that's what happened to me. Sort of like people who go through accidents, or severe situations, rape. It's very common to disassociate, leave your body. It's almost like you're anesthetized. You don't have memory of it, so they play dead, and they literally freeze. And it's also a survival instinct, because the tiger thinks that deer is dead and will go look for another deer, and that's the deer's last chance of escaping. So when the deer finally does get to safety, they don't stay in that traumatic state. They shake it off. All animals. We study this, mammals especially. You could see when they get out of a traumatic state, they just shake their body. They shake their body off, and it's we need to move it through our bodies. It's not, trauma is not, I mean, Peter Levine, who's been, like, the PhD, the founder of trauma healing and trauma research and trauma, and talks about this a lot in his book. And he's the founder of somatic experience. When you talk therapy and trauma could be any kind of stress, really, but I'm talking about the major ones. But any kind of stress that we don't process, if you talk about trauma, it triggers it. So that's why people can't heal trauma by talk therapy.
Absolutely. Definitely.